Chapter 2. What the hell were you thinking letting a dog in here? Captain Winters yelled at me. Standing at Lopez's side in front of Captain Winters, fully lost in my thoughts of pity for the puppy that Lopez shot, I didn't hear much of what the captain had to say. I was too depressed. How could I go from cuddling an innocent pup to holding a rabid monster? Why did Lopez shoot it? I wasn't even sure that the puppy was a zombie, even if all the other dogs were. Then I remembered it was training. This was no different from hunting with my dad. Lopez shot because he had to. My dad and I hunted to put food on the table, to put an injured animal down, to be ready to protect our family. The puppy was a zom. Lopez killed it in the cold deliberation of the moment. How did the zom leaders infect the dog? Should I become a vegetarian? Killing dogs, killing zombies, killing anyone, even scabs. Those scavenging criminals and survivalists that lived outside the military fort still felt as wrong. I didn't want to kill, but I had once or twice during an instinctive reaction to fear and imminent danger. This world of death I was thrust into was a place I did not want to live in. All of us, everyone left alive, had to either fight or die. Are you listening to me? Winters asked. It was just a puppy, I protested to the floor in front of me. Sir, before this morning no one knew that dogs could be zombies. Corporal Gary Lopez came to my defense, a defense that was neither wanted or needed. I couldn't stand the sound of his voice. I didn't ask you, Winters bellowed at him. Sir, it's not her fault. Lopez stood at attention with messy short hair, a helmet tucked under his arm, and the M4 carbine slung over his back. His hands hung at his side. You were on guard duty, Winters said to him. Sir, yes, sir. My head hung low with thoughts of Jim and his overdue mission. With my hands in my pockets, the .32 automatic not there, for it was confiscated by Lopez, I found a piece of paper. Without knowing what it was, my fingers wrapped around it tightly as I worried for the man I loved, yet barely knew. Where was Jim? I don't need these problems, Winters continued. I've got someone stealing food from the kitchen. There's a kleptomaniac stealing personal belongings. Not even jewelry or anything valuable, but family photos. Someone's dad's watch. Reminders of the old world. Do you know what that does to morale? Patrols are returning decimated by zombie attacks at night. The zombies never attacked at night before. Hunting parties return without food for the mess hall. Now I've got girls adopting stray zombie dogs. He fumed as he paced the floor of his office. Finally, he commanded Lopez to stand easy. Lopez relaxed slightly, taking a half step back and shifting his weight, hands clasped behind his back, holding onto his helmet. What happened? Sir, I was patrolling. Not you. Her. Winters pointed at me, and I regarded him warily and for the first time. He was tall, commanding, neither old nor young. He sported some gray in his short haircut and a 2-day-old beard. Not knowing where to start, I stammered, I don't sleep. I stay awake all night. Listening to the building. I hear things, like a week ago when the zombies came through the roof. I heard them climbing the walls, and I alerted the guards. No one believed me until they dropped from the ceilings. What did you hear last night? Scratching. A scratching sound that was in sync with someone snoring. It sounds crazy, but I wondered if the zombs had found a way to hide their work, like maybe they were digging a tunnel or cutting through a wall. That doesn't sound crazy. Have a seat. Go on. Winters said as he sat down at his desk, gesturing for both of us to take a chair. With my hand wrapped tightly around the paper in my pocket, I told the captain what happened. Winters stared at me, silent and waiting, listening patiently and appearing to think deeply and consider all I said. He continued to stare at me in silence long after I finished. To avoid his deep, penetrating eyes, I looked out the window while I talked. There was a metal grill welded over the windows of what was once most likely the hospital's chief of staff office. The mid-morning sun shone in, and it was good to see it rise another day. What bothers me most, besides you having a firearm, is that for over a week they have been attacking at night, Winters said after a long silence. This was not entirely nighttime, sir, Lopez said. I had just come down from the roof when the attack began. The sky was light and getting brighter. I heard the grate, and saw Julie. Winters interrupted Lopez by raising his hand. They've never attacked that early in the morning. Starting a week ago, our night patrols are being attacked. Before then, never at night. They're starting earlier in the mornings and staying in the streets later in the evenings. Winters looked at me. Do you think they figured out how to see at nighttime? Surprise came over me as the captain seemed to care what I thought, but not knowing how to answer, I simply nodded. He fell quiet again and I spoke up. The air vents are dark. The Zom are blind. They see only what the leader sees or what leaders tell them, telepathically, I think. How do you know that? Winters asked. From the newspapers, or I read it somewhere, a year ago. What else can you tell me? I was surprised again at being consulted by the captain. I tried to recall all I knew from the papers or TV or what my father and others, researchers in the lab, had told me. It all started in Europe, something to do with millimeter wave machines and virus RNA or DNA or something geeky. Something to do with a cold virus, the uncommon cold, the zombie flu. I know that much. Red bumps, green and yellow sores, brain damage. Most of the infected go insane and those who recover become carriers. And leaders, Winters added. The leaders recover, their brains grow and they become super intelligent. They outthink us, like attacking through the roof panels, creating zombie dogs, or coming in the ventilation system last night. What else? Thinking hard, I drew forth a blank. I don't know, just stuff. He frowned. The corners of his lips sank and his eyes wrinkled, but I had the feeling he wasn't unhappy with me. It was more he realized his own ignorance of the enemy. You're good with a gun. That's what Lopez says. My face turned red. We won't talk about your .32 automatic. I nodded. We won't talk about your .44 either. Okay? You were fast on your feet this morning. You talk like you have a brain. You don't follow rules. You think for yourself. Those are leadership qualities. Plus you can shoot. My dad, I started to explain my training, but didn't know if he was insulting me or complimenting me. Winters raised his hand. He was quiet for a very long time, and I grew ever more uncomfortable. Even Lopez started fidgeting. I've got a problem, Winters finally said. This is against all my better judgment and violates a dozen regulations. He briefly paused, tapping his pen on his desk. After a dozen raps, he continued, My lieutenants don't give me a straight answer. The lieutenant colonel ran off on a mission looking for something, maybe glory. He took Major Hobbs, a lieutenant, my 2 best sergeants, and a few others, plus 3 Humvees. And Jim, I thought to myself, a corporal. I can make sergeants, I can't make Humvees, and I can't make gasoline. Winters looked like he might smile at his joke, but he didn't quite succeed. Abraham Lincoln, Lopez said. Lopez smirked, and Winters stared at him. Abraham Lincoln said, I can make generals, but I can't make horses. How do you, Winters said. History class. Maybe, I decided Lopez wasn't as dumb as he looked, but he looked pretty dumb. The dogs are zombies, Winters continued. I guess so, I shrugged. Looks like it, Lopez said. I sent several of the dogs to the lab. Dr. Scarborough and Felix are testing them. How the hell did they mutate a human virus to infect dogs? They are super intelligent, I said. Winters turned in his chair and stared out the window. Lopez and I followed his gaze. The sun had been up for hours. It should have warmed the room, but didn't. We never got outdoors much beyond the rooftop gardens, and this was a nice view of the Tulsa skyline and green country from the northwest hills. Subtract the zombies and add some vehicle traffic, and I'd have thought everything was normal. We are short-staffed, Winters said to the window view before us. We have limited supplies of ammo, medicine, food, and water. Our hunting trips are often less successful. It's been months since the last airdrop and a week since we've had any communications with HQ. Satellite communications have been out for 6 months, cell phones and internet even longer. Ham and military radio are his only contact to the outside world, and now all the radio traffic is dead. Someone is jamming the radios, not a word from anywhere. We are losing this war. He turned back around to face us as he continued. Lieutenant Colonel Grierson went on a mission to re-establish contact with HQ at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. They are a supply line to the outside world. Without them, we're an island. No food except we find and hunt, and with the scavengers and zombs eating too, the grocery stores are empty. What do you two think about that? I think the zombs are stockpiling the food. The more they take for themselves, the less there is for us, I said. Like the scabs, they steal, loot, store, and trade. They are going to starve us out, Lopez added. Scabs or the zombies, Winters asked. Both, I said, looking at Lopez. I think I agree. We haven't heard from Grierson since he went out the gate 4 days ago. No radio comm. No gunfire in the distance. Nothing. Oklahoma City is 110 miles from here. If the turnpike is clear, he should have been there and back in a few hours or half a day. If the road is blocked with cars or debris, then it might be a few days, not more than 2 or 3. If they didn't get killed, Lopez said. The thought of Jim being dragged into that suicidal plan bothered me to no end. I remembered him saying he didn't want to go and that driving to Tinker was a bad idea. I begged him to stay. If Tinker were fine, then the brass there would contact us. They hadn't, and that means that Tinker wasn't fine. They left at sundown and planned to be back by morning, Winters' forehead wrinkled as he frowned. Hard thoughts seemed to run through his mind. I always believed adults knew how to handle their problems. My confidence in military leadership was shrinking. We're being jammed, he finally said. The look of puzzlement on my face must have prompted him to explain further. It is clear that the Zom leaders have found a way to jam our radio signals. No problem, Lopez said. Winters laughed. I smiled, but I didn't understand the amusement. Oklahoma City, Lopez continued, loses communication with us and they send out a search party. There should be a flyover any time, except they don't do flyovers anymore. Jet fuel is in short supply, even in the Oklahoma oil fields, Winters said. And if they started jamming the radios at the same time they mounted a major attack on Tinker, then what? I asked. Grierson is driving straight into Crab Creek, Lopez said. And if that attack were successful, I asked. Crab Creek, Winters answered. Once more, silence fell over the room. What are we doing here? I finally asked Winters when I could no longer stand the silence. He looked at me and frowned, then smiled and opened his desk drawer. He took out my stainless steel .44 caliber match-grade revolver and placed it on his desk. My lips turned slightly upwards despite my effort to contain my surprise. It's against my better judgment and all the rules, but I've seen you, and you are cool under fire. A mission? How's your leg? He ignored my question. Healed. You still have a cast on it. He gestured to my leg cast. I picked my leg up and slammed the cast on the floor. It cracked. I slammed it again, and the crack split wider. All right, it comes off today? Yep, I replied. It itches anyways. I want you to pick a team, he said to both of us. It will be a small team of 6. Select 4 men out of your platoon or civilians if you trust them, and only if they can handle themselves. He continued, you're on foot, no Humvee, no armored transport. 90 rounds of ammo each, 2 days of food. He opened a map of Tulsa on his desk. I want you to get to the broadcasting studios of a local radio or TV station. One used to be in the Stanford Tower, downtown Tulsa. KBKX, if I recall. See if the Zoms are running power through the transmitters. See if they are deliberately jamming radio traffic. The radio operator tells me strong signals are coming through the equipment on all frequencies but no voice. If KBKX is not the one, and it's only one guess out of 20, then find a signal jet analyzer. There should be one in their tech department. It will tell you all the frequencies and their strength, and you can use it as a direction finder. If the radio stations are a bust, then try cell phone tower technicians, wherever they used to work. Lopez, you used to be a tech geek, right? Lopez smiled. Yes, sir. Amateur electronics. Took some classes in high school. Good, that's your job. The second part of your mission is this, and he told us in detail what he expected. Get going, Winters finally ordered. A hunting patrol is going out tonight. They'll distract the Zoms. You slip out and go the other way. Now hit the showers. I hope that isn't zombie blood on you both. Get ready. Get some sleep. You leave tonight. As Lopez and I left the office, I stopped in the hallway and took the tightly clenched paper from my pocket. My hand was cramped, fingers shaking with pins and needles. Was it a note from Jim? Maybe something he hid in my pocket when he gave me the handgun? During the long meeting, I had forgotten about it. It was small, tightly folded, and stuffed into the bottom of my pocket. I opened it, smoothed the wrinkles, and read. Hi, Julie. I thought you might find this note. Please know that I miss you and wish I was at your side. This mission is dangerous, but it will be okay. I don't want to go, but you know I must. Don't worry about me. I'm sorry you broke your leg, and I'm sure it will heal fine. It's been fun spending time with you over the last few weeks. I like you a lot. Stay safe. I'll be back soon. Say hi to Jill. Love, Jim. My eyes filled with water. I tried to read the note again, but couldn't. Jim was so very long overdue. The mission wasn't okay. I started to sob as I stood in the hallway. Lopez returned to my side and asked me if I were all right. I ran away from him. End of chapter 2.